everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a fantastic weekend. We have a bit of heat today. It's been really cold for the last week. It's felt really autumnal, which has been really nice. And then today, it's suddenly got really warm. Next week, we're going to get lots and lots of rain, which is good because we need it. The ground needs it. But right now, things in the greenhouse are refusing to quit. We've still got more and more tomatoes that are growing. I think sometime in the next week, I need to go through and remove all the leaves so that the remaining tomatoes that are here, they all get a chance to ripen. As you can see, some of the leaves are starting to die and some of the tomatoes are finally ripening. I've basically been eating tomatoes all week. We've had huge numbers of tomatoes. We made some enchiladas on, I think, Monday last week, and we ate them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and they used tomatoes from this very greenhouse. The cucumbers are still doing their thing. There are still some cucumbers growing on there. I've learned so much about this greenhouse this year. The other thing that I've learned is it is capturing a lot of heat. Even on days where we don't have a lot of sunlight, it's still doing incredibly well. The other thing, and I would love your comments below, that I've got to try and decide what to do is whether I try and rescue some of these onions that I have that are looking a bit fed up and small, whether I rescue them and store them over winter and then plant them again next year as basically onion starts, and then I'll be able to get my onions from there. I don't know. I would love to know your thoughts. Tell me in the comments below. The squashes are doing okay. I think next year I'm going to plant the squashes somewhere else, somewhere that has a little bit more sunlight. And someone has got a bonfire today, which is making my mind feel very, very fuzzy. I don't like bonfires. Bonfires suck. I know that sometimes that can be the easiest way of getting rid of things, and some people say, oh well, yeah, as long as you're burning green stuff, it's all right. But honestly, whoever's burning today, there are tires being burned, and that's not very environmentally friendly, and it makes your eyes itch, it makes your throat itchy, and it's really not at all very healthy at all. One thing I did do the other day is I got rid of all of the sunflowers. This is what remains of the sunflowers here in the chicken pen. Let me move that fence back up. The sunflowers are done for the year, and it was fun. Unfortunately, the day I dug up the rest of the sunflowers, we lost one of our squirrels, which I was very sad about. We had a local squirrel that had become very, very tame and would literally come right up to the door and take things from my hands. Unfortunately, the squirrel had an accident with a car, not my car, but I was coming back home last weekend, and there was a squirrel right outside our driveway that had been hit. And I think it was that squirrel. And the thing that really pulled at my heart was a couple of days later, there was another squirrel stopped right by where the other squirrel had been hit, and it just pulled at my heartstrings and made me realise, you know, animals might not speak like we do, but that doesn't mean they don't have feelings and they don't have compassion, and it's a very sad thing to have to deal with. Grief is horrible, no matter who you are or what you are. I did, however, cut my grass the other day, which is nice. I was able to cut the grass, and that's probably going to be the last bit of grass cutting for the season, which is good. I'm still waiting for a project vehicle that the person who was donating it to me has been super busy and super amazing, and I'm not stressed about it not arriving. But I kind of hope that I can help them if they need some help get it down here before the winter, because it would be nice, because it's going to help with the snow. Not that we're going to get much snow this year because of El Nino or El Nina. I can't remember which one it is. The warmer weather. I mean, it is warm here today and it's like October and I'm in a t-shirt. What's that all about? It's not good. In terms of the apples, they are still coming, they are still growing. I'm still harvesting apples off our miniature dwarf multi-variety tree. All of the Gravenstein I think that's how you say it. Or is it Gravenstein? That's an air compressor in the garage. I'm sorry, my wife's in woodworking and she forgot to turn the air compressor off. They are doing great. They don't store very well though, so I've been working my way through those apples every day and having an apple a day, so hopefully to keep the doctor away. I've been doing plenty of other things too, and hopefully at some point very soon we'll have some more apple pies and things, because it's nearly Thanksgiving. In fact, it's very much nearly Canadian Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving is soon, right? Isn't it October, Canadian Thanksgiving? American Thanksgiving, obviously, in November. And hopefully I'll have some apple pies to make for that. And also I've got my parsnips are growing incredibly well. This particular chicken and garden update is kind of short today because I've got to go and have my COVID booster. If you can get a COVID booster, go do it. Here in North America, in the US, everyone can get a COVID booster if they're over a certain age. So every adult, basically. So if you haven't had one, go get one. To finish, something a little sad. So, as you know, I have chickens, and one of my chickens is Carolyn, this one over here. She is a lovely girl. This lady right here, and that's actually her daughter walking past her. She has not been very well of late, and I haven't been able to put my finger on it. As you know, Kate Walton Elliott, one of her chickens, has not been very well, and unfortunately she lost one of her chickens. Her chicken had cancer. One of her chickens had cancer and sadly passed away. Carolyn, I don't know quite what's up with Carolyn. This is Carolyn right here. She has a lovely red healthy comb. She has molted, but she's not been very active of late. Now I've checked her feet. She doesn't have anything wrong with her feet. She's just seeming to be a little sedate, and she hasn't laid eggs for a really long time. Like, I don't think she's laid eggs for a year. In fact, I think the egg that became her daughter is probably one of the last eggs she laid. She seems happy enough. She just doesn't want to jump up into the coop at night. She'd rather just sit on the floor. And I'm wondering if she's got something that's not quite right. The frustrating thing, though, is unlike Kate, who lives near to a really amazing veterinarian who will treat chickens, our dogs' vets won't touch the chickens because they're not dogs. We don't have any local farm vets that will take on a domestic flock. They'll take on a massive flock, but they won't take on like a small flock like this. And the other vets that I've been able to find in the area all want to charge upwards of $700 or $800 per bird, which I think is their way of saying we don't want to look after chickens. So I need to find a vet locally who's willing to help her, because I've done all of the usual checking to make sure she doesn't have any worms or anything like that. But something is definitely not right. She's not happy spending huge amounts of time on her feet. So I'm wondering if she's just got like arthritis. I mean, she's like 4 now, which is about middle-aged for a chicken. I mean, chickens can live to 10, but I'm assuming that she's just not feeling 100%. But right now, I mean, she'll just sit there and happily scratch and do chicken things. So, yeah, I don't know. If you are a chicken expert or an avian expert and you have any ideas as to where I can send her to get checked up on, I would love to know. Because I've like I say, I've been asking around, and no one here in the Portland area wants to seem to work on chickens. So if you have a link and you can help me with that, do let me know. That is about it for today's video, because like I say, I have got to go and become a pincushion. I've got to go and have a COVID vaccine. If you haven't had your COVID vaccine, please do go and get one. And for some reason, my phone keeps pinging today, and I have no idea why. Normally it shouldn't do that, but apparently it is. Anyway, we are done with today's video. If you have comments, you can drop us a polite note below in the Discord chat room. You can reach out to us on Mastodon, or if you are a Patreon supporter, you can reach out to us in the comment section there. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell, and follow the links below to regularly support us to the YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription from just $1 a month or $10.08 a year if you do the yearly Patreon support. And that would really help us because we've lost about $3,000 in the last month from lost YouTube revenue because YouTube is putting ads on AI generated content. Thanks, YouTube. Anyway, also, if your name is scrolling by on the right, thank you very much. You are our charged up supporters. If you have recently joined at that level and you're not on the list, I'm sorry, we've had issues with the list. You've probably heard me make this excuse multiple times already, but we have just been so busy and we've been trying to sort out a replacement for this and we just haven't had a chance to get everything together yet. But in the meantime, if you have supported us recently and you are not on the list, thank you very, very, very much. You have helped make the last month a lot less painful than it would otherwise be. Shout outs go out to our VGG Patreon supporters: Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hey Esker, John Tramal, Carl Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Regine Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Tazza in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Carl Hodgson, Chris Centaur, Denny Hyde, Lance Stahl, Linda Irish, Mike Weeder and Paul Nelson. And finally, big thanks to our off-grid supporters: Paul Conway, Kevin Burbage, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Ellery Hensley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, Chris and Michael Johnson, Clay Witt, CPU Freak 101, Eric Neck, Joe Bresney, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Master Award, Matthew Drobnak, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course, Ian. Don't forget that we make content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday on the main channel, and then on a Sunday you can see me here on Transport Evolved Take 2 for the Chicken and Garden update, which is what you've just watched, and also our Sunday musing, which hopefully you'll go and watch a little bit later on today. Got a little bit of a spicy question for you today on that one. Anyway, whatever you enjoy next, I hope you have a great one. We've got some great content lined up for you very soon. But until then, keep evolving.